Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our full package webinar series webinars. We're very excited to continue to host these for our closest Bo Digital partners and friends in the industry. Again, this whole series was designed to introduce you to other vendors in the industry or associations or publications that you might have heard of but don't know enough about. And in an effort to be good partners to our partners, we want to make sure that you know about all of the possible solutions that can help your business. And that's why I'm very excited that we have Perla with Paymints.io here to share all things about their system, what you should know about them, how real estate companies, title companies especially, are using this, and how it might be a good fit for your business. So like always, we are recording this. So if you're watching the recording, if you're one of the folks, I know we had some issues with our webinar system today. If you're one of the folks that are watching the recording, we'll include any links that Perla references and everything else in the YouTube description for the video afterwards. You can always access that there, and we'll include the Paymints.io and Perla's contact information when we send this around as well. For today, we're going to take questions as we go, so please feel free to use the chat. And otherwise, Perla, I'll let you introduce yourself and get into this so that people really understand how these real estate payment systems work, what makes you guys different, and how you're serving a number of our customers already, but what people should know about how they might be able to use you guys in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Wayne, for the introduction. Thank you so much to Bo Digital for having us. We have been partners since the beginning. We have done webinars in the past, and we're just very thankful for the partnership with you and your team as well, Wayne. So thank you so much. So as Wayne mentioned, I'm Perla Aparicio, and I'm the VP of Strategic Partnerships for Paymints.io. And one of my goals really is to be a resource and help educate our real estate industry of the payment technology that can help our industry be more safe and more secure for the future. Technology really is here to stay and continuing to advance. I'm sure we're using technology to watch this video right now. It's just inevitable. So how can we really embrace technology to help us move forward into the future? And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today, talking a little bit more about the why, the how of payment technology, so we can go ahead and get started. So to get us started, let's just talk about what the problem at hand is. So in the US, over 6 million residential real estate transactions happen per year. Now, with this comes cybersecurity concerns, of course, potential fraud, and the risk of losing funds. Now, I'm willing to say that probably most of you on here so many trainings on cybersecurity and wire fraud. Now, we've all heard these statistics that it is the fastest growing cybercrime in the United States with over 90 billion in attempted losses. But we also know that our clients don't know that. We are in the real estate space. This is what we live and breathe every single day. But our clients definitely don't know that. The majority of our clients are making large real estate transactions like this once or a handful of times in their life. And we can tell them to verify their wiring instructions, to make sure that their checks are received until we are blue in the face, right? But that doesn't always mean that it's going to follow through. So you definitely have to be very careful when dealing with money in a real estate transaction. And the normal Joe Schmo or, my mom or somebody may not know all of those technicalities. And it really relies on us to have that responsibility to help them make sure that their funds, that their transactions are as safe as possible. I'd also like to mention that cyber criminals also don't discriminate, right? They don't care where you live. They don't care about your race, your religion, the color of your skin, nothing. They don't care. They care about scamming people out of large sums of money very, very quickly. So we all know that real estate transactions are just an easy target for cyber criminals because they involve multiple parties. Long transaction cycles, readily available public information, and large amounts of money. And these cyber criminals are learning and growing just as fast as we are. So we have to be very, very careful. Now to briefly touch base on the inefficiencies of handling paper checks. Now we all know that they're just a huge, huge pain. No one likes to sit in traffic to go pick up and drop off checks. No one likes to have to go deposit it. It's just a nightmare. And also a lot of our clients don't have checkbooks anymore, right? People have these banks that are all online, so they don't actually have a place to get checkbooks or to have to order them. And it's just something that we definitely need to take keep in mind, I guess. So now let's talk about why we have to talk about digital funds now. So now that we spoke about what the problem is, let's talk about why we have to talk about digital funds now. And the simple answer is that natural generational progression of homebuyers is evolving. It is changing. Millennials are currently the largest home buyers in our real estate market at the moment, and it's just going to continue. It's just going to evolve with Gen Xers and the people that follow them after that. Now, there has been a generational change where the majority of home buyers are now used to using some form of digital payment platform, and more banks are really offering online options only. So also, like I said, many consumers don't have checkbooks. So it makes it very, very difficult for us to continue with the way that we have been doing things when the world outside of the real estate market has continued to evolve. Now, in March 2022, NAR came out with a report that showed about 43% of homebuyers are millennials. We are now interacting with generations that have grown up with technology at their fingertips, and future generations are naturally going to follow suits. You know, if you have kids, you know that they know how to work your cell phone better than you do sometimes. So it's just going to naturally happen, and it's good. It's good to adjust and evolve with those times as well. All right. So let's briefly touch base about the digital funds we have available at the moment. So we have Check 21, which allows banks to process more checks electronically by capturing a picture of the front and the back of the check. Now, this can be a challenge because it requires the customer or you, the real estate agent or title agency, to have a physical check and take a picture of it so that that information can then be received by the bank. Next, we have ACH, which is short for the Automated Clearinghouse Network, which is a computer-based electronic network for processing transactions that allow for credit and debit, credit coming in and debit coming out. This type of payment rail that we use at Paymintsio, and we do have a bi-directional platform, which I'll go into a little bit later. Then we have Fed wire. So wires are technically a type of digital funds, even though we may not always think about it like that. And it is the normal type of wire that we are all used to. Estate transaction. In a wire transaction, the participant originates the funds transfers by instructing the Federal Reserve to debit funds from its own account and credit then the other bank account of the other participant. So in this case, for earnest money deposit, could be your buyer then transferring to your escrow account. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. Next, we have real-time payments. There's a lot of questions and a lot of chatter around real-time payments and FedNow, which is coming in 2023. And there really are a lot of logistics behind RTP that it could be, honestly, its own webinar itself. So Wayne, you and I can talk about doing that later. But for our purposes right now, RTP allows for almost immediate transfer of money between bank accounts. Now, it's important to know that RTP is not fully available for real estate transactions, and it's not going to be in the very, very near future. It's going to have some people using it, but there are a lot of logistical things that have to be in place in order for both parties to, for the RTP transaction to happen. So in this case, let me give an example. My bank, which is Chase, has to be RTP enabled. Not only my bank account has to also be RTP enabled. Let's say Wayne banks at Bank of America. Bank of America is RTP enabled, but Wayne's bank account is not. I cannot do an RTP transaction at that point. So anyway, there will be several educational videos, I'm sure, coming out for that. But I did want to touch base on that since I know that is a big buzzword, especially at Alta One last week. So I just wanted to go ahead and touch base on that. Now, I also wanted to touch base on a couple apps like PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle, etc., to our list of digital funds types because consumers are used to apps like these to transfer funds. So you have probably heard a buyer ask you, can I Venmo you my earnest money deposit? Can I Zelle you my earnest money deposit? And apps like PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo really are not a valid option and are not recommended in a real estate transaction because of challenges like dollar limitation, compliance with escrow accounts, reconciliations, and especially tracking. So there are several things that apps like PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle create for challenges in the real estate transaction. Solutions like Paymintsio are a more viable and trusted solution for digital payments in a real estate transaction. All right, let's see here. So let's go ahead and talk about use cases for digital funds in our industry. The use of digital funds would be the same use cases that you would use for paper checks and for wires today. Digital funds are just another tool, same thing, money deposits, cash to close, and disbursements. That could be disbursements to real estate agent commission, agent broker splits, earnest money deposit for buyer refunds, and obviously sales proceeds. So the use of digital payment provides you as a real estate agent or title agency to get paid faster, safer, while also protecting your client's funds perspective. The money can then be tracked. You get a status bar, which I might have time to go over that during this webinar, but if not, feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to address that. But it just gives you a more visible look into the actual transaction and lets you know when the funds are actually going to be delivered. So let's briefly talk about the security benefits of using an online payment platform like Payments.io. So there are many online payment platforms out there, but something to look for is for a payment platform that doesn't ask you or your client to share your account or your routing information. At Payments.io, we don't ask you to share your client, your account or your routing information, and same with your clients. For your clients, they connect their bank accounts using Plaid, which is what, for example, Venmo, Zelle, Tesla, I believe, use to connect different bank accounts. So they would use their username and their password to log in. They would look at their bank account balance, and then they'd be able to transfer the account to your escrow account. It is a single destination platform. That means that the money cannot be transferred anywhere else. It can't be moved somewhere else. That link only sticks to your escrow account, and the money can only go to your escrow account. Perfect. So using an online payment platform, you also wouldn't be sharing any personal information that can be found using a check, like your full name, your address, your signature, your phone number, which can all be used by cyber criminals to then backtrace and find out a lot of information and potentially make you a victim of wire fraud or identity theft. Those are things that you really, really have to be careful for. Online payments platforms also give you the ability and visibility and transparency into the transaction that you just wouldn't really have with a check or a wire. Like I mentioned, we give you a dashboard that has a status bar that says, sent, received, complete, rejected, those types of statuses that can help you as a title agency have more visibility into that transaction. At Payments.io, we give the buyer the option to send agent a copy of their receipt. We all know that title agencies get called by the real estate agent. Has my client buyer sent you the earnest money deposit? We get a zillion phone calls like that a day, and it would be nice for the real estate agent just to be able to cross that off the list by getting an automatic email from their buyer. All right. Now let's talk about Payments.io. So Payments.io, I wanted to really focus why we're having to talk about this, the reasons, and now we can dive into a little bit more about Paymints.io. So now that we've talked about why this matters and why this matters to you as a title agency, let's talk about how you can use this in your day-to-day life. So Paymints.io was created with the vision of using more of a holistic approach to eliminate wire fraud in the real estate industry from all touch points, starting with earnest money deposit, cash to close, and disbursements. So we know that funds get transferred in several different points of the real estate transaction, and our main goal is to solve for all of that check fraud, wire fraud, eliminating checks overall. But right now we are starting with earnest money deposits, cash to close, and disbursements for the title agency. So at Paymints.io, we know that wire fraud really impacts all aspects of the real estate transaction, from wire fraud on loan proceeds to fraud on the buyer sending the remainder of the down payment, as just a couple of examples for to say. At Paymints.io, we also we're not just a software company coming into the real estate space. We are a mixture of real estate professionals and software professionals that have come together to use the technology that we already have in our world that has been on and ongoing. It's not new to our world, but it is new to the real estate industry. So our team's mission is to go above and beyond earnest money and cash to close deposit. It's just to solve a larger problem that affects everyone in our industry, personally and professionally. All right, let's touch base a little bit more on our product. So our product is mainly used by title agencies and real estate brokerages. And a couple of unique features on our Paymints.io platform are the ability to customize every customer's platform to showcase their brand. So in a moment, I'm going to show you one of our mutual customers between Bo Digital and Paymints.io. We built a unique landing page for them. Bo Digital created a website off of their, general company website. I'll show you. It looks better. One second. Here we go. Okay. Wayne, let me know if you can see this. You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's popping up.
Great. So this is Lakeside Title. This is one of our mutual customers. Lakeside Title ePay is what they called it. So what we did was give Bo Digital, Lakeside Title's co-branded or white labeled website, Paymints.io website. They embedded the link here. And then they also gave several benefits on, what Lakeside Title ePay can provide to the buyer. So if you're a real estate agent, you're walking with the buyer, and the buyer's like, I have to put a down payment on the house now, or you're doing an after hours closing, something like that. There's a QR code where you as a real estate agent can show it to them, or title agency can show it to the buyer. It would take them to the white labeled website. So Bo Digital did a really great job of highlighting the pains of wires, the pains of checks, but also the benefits of Lakeside Title ePay. So this is what it looks like there. So they did a really, really amazing job of looking at the security aspect of it, but also the efficiency side of things as well. So let's go ahead and click on Lakeside Title ePay. I believe you can see that coming up here. So this is the white labeled website that we, Paymints.io, created for Lakeside Title, but it looks and feels just like Lakeside Title. The buyer, the consumer, does not know that it is a Paymints.io website with the co-branding of Lakeside Title, because we want Lakeside Title to really be, the title agency. We don't want buyers to be like, who's Paymints.io? We want them to be very, very clear and confident in where they're sending their money. So this is where they would start their transaction. First name, last name, their phone number, and then it would send them to an account information page. Now, I'm not going to go into too much of that because I know we're almost out of time. But if you are interested in learning more about our product like that, let me know. Wayne, how am I doing on time? I'm
You're
okay?
great. You're great. We've got probably 3 or 4 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. I can definitely run through some of this here. Let
Yeah, you're
me
good.
find my cursor. So at Paymintsio, one of the things that I truly, truly value in this industry is that it is a relationship based industry. I apologize. And we have really, really strategized, and we've worked with Bo Digital, for example. We have done several integrations, like with Prism, for example. Prism is the first American product that allows real estate agents to have visibility into a net sheet calculator, to the Payments.io platform as well. The real estate agent can request funds to the buyer from the Prism platform. So that is one of our newest integrations as well. And so we are just very, very thankful to have these partnerships, integrations, and awards within the industry. So we really, really value Bo Digital, Wayne and his team. And if anybody on here, would like to be a partner or is interested in learning more about Payments.io, feel free to reach out and let me know. But Wayne, let's go ahead and jump into some of the questions about who our potential customers could be, and let's just go for it.
Yeah. I think that one of the main questions that we get a lot is, does a title company have to have a certain volume for a solution like this to make sense for them? Is your main type of customer, is that somebody that's on the smaller side? Are you looking for large agents, or can anyone use this?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. And, the generic answer is anybody can use our platform. I really look at the functionality of the title agency if they're ready to use a platform like ours, because our goal and our view is that we want them to be successful. If they are in a rural area, which actually we have found rural areas like Oklahoma, like Missouri, really have adopted our platform more. And we think it's because of the wide stretch of land between banks and title agencies as well. So to answer your question, anybody sending payments in a real estate transaction can use form, and especially because we require a property address. That is something that's very unique to our platform. So the title agency is not like, where'd this $500 come from? I have 7 $500 payments and I don't know where they're supposed to go, right? So the property address is that's why it is very unique to the real estate industry. But anybody making a payment in a real estate transaction can use our platform. Large companies, multi-state companies are using our platform a lot more because we also have routing by office and routing by state. So we know that there are some rules and regulations regarding that based on state. And instead of the money going all into one pile, they are able to distribute it out based on where that money really is supposed to go. And to me, that makes me really happy and excited because it's tracking, right? It's more data, accurate information. And then let's go on the flip side. Let's say you are, one title agency, one shop with like 5 people doing maybe 100 transactions or less, and you just want an innovative way to provide a service to your customers, especially with the way things are right now in our economy. People and title agencies are looking at our platform to make themselves different from other title agencies, to allow more of a a nice little gadget, I guess, for their real estate partners and their end consumer. They're also looking at our platform if they're starting to reset for the next uptick in our economy as well, because for the past few years we've been really heads down and focused on getting orders done. But now people are starting to evaluate, okay, what can I do to prepare to be more efficient, to be more secure when the market picks back up and we are having to go again. So we have agents on both spectrums being incredibly successful, and they really, really like the white label platform.
Nice. And this is sort of a two-pronged question. So what is the most what is the thing that customers are most excited to learn about or surprised by when they do a demo or they start to think about how will this really operationally impact my organization?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
So
I'll get to part two after that.
okay, no problem. So title agencies normally come onto our demos or our meetings initially before they become customers to use it as an earnest money deposit system, as a platform. And then once we get into the demo, once they start being a customer and actually using it, they're really surprised by the disbursement feature. That's not what really gets them at first or what really interests them at first, but once they start seeing how easy it is to send and receive money, they really embrace it, and they wow, this is great. I used to spend a ton of money on overnight FedEx fees because of my checks, but now I don't. And then we do also have our pricing on our website that I'd be happy to share with you, Wayne, after this, so you can link it to the bottom. We're very just transparent, so I'm happy to share that with you too. So I'd say disbursements.
Perfect. And then, so the flip side, once they're actually using it, once they're like a Lakeside Title that's got it on the site, they've introduced it to their customers. What sort of makes it indispensable to them? Where they're like, how are we not doing this before? Like that's what they were most excited about. And then in practice, what's the hook?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is what they're the most excited about, disbursements. And then they realize, wait, we were sending out 500 checks a month with overnight fees for FedEx. It's the cost. I'd say like the hook, the thing that they're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was living without this, is the cost benefit between what they were doing before, based on the cost that they're spending on somebody's salary to put the check in the envelope and then FedEx it out. And then having those FedEx fees are really crazy. So I know a lot of people have partnerships with their underwriters or the TPS systems on FedEx fees, but it still really does reduce the cost. And I do also want to point out that that person that was putting the envelope or the check in the envelope still has a job, still continues to work at the agency. We are not here to eliminate anybody's position. We're here so that you can repurpose them, give them a more meaningful position, and explore what that means to them so that you can continue to retain them.
I think that's the future of so much of this, whether we're in this odd market that we're in now or how we deal with talent shortages and all of that in the future, how to repurpose your existing talent by using technology. I think that's really the strength of all of this, and that's where this comes in for you guys. And I'm sure as you grow and evolve, you're only going to have more to offer these guys as well. So I really appreciate it. We always like to end this with a lightning round. This has been kind of one of the most popular things, especially as it gets shared on social and people watch the recording later, of just sort of the fun stuff. In Title, we talk a lot about all of our down in the weeds, nerdy kind of information about our products and the things that we love and all the trainings that we do. But just some of our, more lighthearted stuff for you. We call it a lightning round because we don't want you to think about it a bunch, just your gut reaction. So first up, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Because it has meat in the middle, and the meat to bread ratio equals a sandwich.
Nice. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to speak to animals?
I'm such a people person. That's a really hard one because I also love animals, but every language in the world, I would say, even though after the movie Encanto, if y'all ever saw it, the little kid that could speak to animals, that was really freaking cool.
I know.
He was like, what did you say? Oh, yeah, you can bring your friends.
Right. I think we would learn so much. I think mine would be animals. Favorite junk food?
Hot Cheetos.
Nice.
I love hot Cheetos and spicy food. I almost always carry hot sauce in my bag or some type of pepper, and I'm always asking for jalapenos at any meal. So
very nice.
You see me at a conference, ask me for some hot sauce.
They know what they can get from you.
Yeah.
Invisibility or super strength for your power?
God, that's a hard one. Super strength, I'd say. Because, and I'll say this because yesterday we went to a pumpkin patch and got like the biggest pumpkin I've ever seen in my entire life. This thing must weigh 200 pounds. And between me and my partner, my boyfriend, we could not pick that thing up. So right now I'm a little sore and I really would have loved some super strength.
Feeling it? Nice.
I'll have to send you the picture so you can link it. It is remarkable how big this pumpkin is.
We would love that.
Yeah.
Are socks with sandals acceptable?
No. I feel very strongly about that. And anybody that likes to wear those, props to you. But for me, I cannot wear it even if my feet are cold. Socks or sandals, pick one for me.
Back to socially acceptable. Is it okay to double dip at a party?
No, I'd say no. I think we should just pick your own, have some in your own plate.
And then our last one is, can you give us your best good day, mate, in an Australian accent?
Oh boy. I'm really, really bad at accents. Okay, hold on. Let me prepare. Good day, mate.
Perfect.
Was that good?
I mean, it didn't sound very Australian, but you gave it your best effort.
Okay, you try it.
Good day, mate.
All right. That
Not
sounds
great either,
probably more like it. Let me try to show you guys this pumpkin. I don't know if you guys can see it in the
oh my
closet.
gosh, it's the whole size of the trunk.
It's the whole size of the entire trunk. Can you imagine trying to pick that thing up and putting it on your porch?
I love Halloween though, so that's great that you have such a giant pumpkin. Are you guys going to carve it, or is it just decoration?
No, that was decoration. I was like,
carving it would take
you
all
have to like scoop your entire hand or body in there. We have other carving pumpkins, but we have a good collection of pumpkins in our front yard, and we're trying to hit every pumpkin patch in the area. So we're gonna have a whole gathering of pumpkins, of gourds.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Perla and Paymints.io, for joining us for our full package webinar today. Like I said, this will be recorded. We're happy to send this around afterwards. We will be sending this around. We'll include all the links and everything that Perla mentioned. Please reach out to these guys if you think they can be helpful to you in any way. Please reach out. I know that Perla has been around the industry for a long time and can help with just about anything. So even if you don't want to talk about Paymints.io specifically, she's a great person to have in your corner, and we've really appreciated our relationship with Paymints.io, but especially you, Perla. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next month.
Thank you so much, Wayne. I really appreciate it. And seriously, what he said is true. I love helping people. Please feel free to reach out. And thank you again, Wayne. We really appreciate being here.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.